Great job with the woo, you guys. You were like in harmony, kind of like woo woo. I don't think that's what harmony is. Give it up for the band one more time. They sound awesome today. I just feel like I'll never be as cool as Lyndon playing the solo in Sunday Best, like with his backwards hat over there. Like I aspire to be that cool. And I aspire to be as cool as you all for being here today. It was a good transition, right? How are you? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Thumbs in the middle? Hope you're okay. I know Tiffany and I were joking about the first song, Sunday Best. You're feeling good, never stressed. And she was like, really? Took a walk around the neighborhood? Have you seen the neighborhood right now? It's kind of crazy out there. So if you're not feeling good or if you are a little stressed, it's cool. That's okay too. We're super glad that you're here. I'm really excited because Hannah spoke about super Bible nerd stuff 2 weeks ago because we weren't here last week for some reason. And today she's going to continue the super Bible nerd stuff. More Esther, right? Cool. I'm stoked about that. Also, this is not a drill. This is happening 1 week from today, Halloween on Central. So help me, wear a costume. Kiana, you and I have to pick like the most worshipy music ever so that we can see people out here like in Captain America costumes singing praise songs. That's what I want to see next week. Okay. Also, next week, bring bags of candy if you can. We still need candy to give to the kids. We're going to have service like normal, and then afterwards, hang out. We're going to go this way. We've got a booth. Do we know where the booth is? Cool. It's super close, so hopefully we'll get some good weather, maybe. That would be awesome. I think that's pretty much the only announcement. We are hanging out today after service. We're going to, I forget what it's called, Around the Corner something or other. Right around the corner arcade bar, which is right down that way. Totally walkable, right? Only thing is they open at noon, so whenever we're done here, if you just want to hang out for a couple minutes while we're breaking down, make a friend, and then we will go right around the corner to the arcade bar. I think that's it. Thank you for being here today. It's super cool to see you. Please clap super loud for Hannah.
Woohoo. Good morning. I'm a little out of practice. This morning had to leave and go back home because I forgot my iPad. Like I haven't been to church in months. It's been 2 weeks / 17 years since I've seen you. It does feel good to be here, though. It feels like I'm doing something normal, like something tangibly normal, and we're just going to pretend that everything's normal and just talk about Esther in the Bible. We talked about her 2 weeks ago, and then Milton ruined everyone's lives, and now we're here again talking about Esther, who had just been picked to be queen by Xerxes, the king of Persia. That's where we left off. So what do we know? We know that Esther is still hiding her Jewish identity because she's afraid of the repercussions. We know that Xerxes is a terrible person and not a great leader, and maybe the truth of this is debatable, right? But the book of Esther portrays him as weak and easily influenced and basically a giant buffoon. And we know that God is not mentioned at all in the book of Esther. So Esther has just become queen. Fairly soon after this, there's an assassination attempt that Mordecai, her cousin who was raising her, heard about. Mordecai is a person of some importance in the government, and he discovers 2 of the palace workers are angry at Xerxes and are plotting to kill him. Not uncommon. Okay, there's assassination attempts for leaders of all kinds throughout the history of the world. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is if you're the one being assassinated, but it generally happens a lot, and Xerxes is not particularly a lovable guy, so not surprising. Nevertheless, Mordecai gets word to Xerxes through Esther. He's like, hey, just so you know, people are trying to kill you. And then they investigate it, and it turns out people were in fact trying to kill him, so then he kills them. Just a little blip. It's like a paragraph. It's like, and then Esther became queen, and then people got killed because they tried to kill Xerxes. And moving on, while all of this is going on, Xerxes promotes a guy named Haman to be his right-hand man. And Haman is just wildly full of himself. And he demands that everyone bow to him all the time. Anytime Haman walks into a room, you have to be like, mm-hmm. And Mordecai refuses to do this. And Haman is big mad. And instead of dealing with Mordecai directly, he decides that the appropriate response to one guy refusing to bow to him is to wipe out the Jewish people entirely. And so he convinces the king that there's a group of people who do not respect him, they do not follow the law, they don't follow the rules, and if the king lets this continue, it's going to get way out of hand, there's going to be a revolt, okay? These people have to be exterminated. Which is the same ridiculous extrapolation we talked about last time when Queen Vashti refused to be paraded around like a parrot in front of a palace full of drunk men. And the argument of the advisors were like, you have to punish her because if women in Persia find out that she did not obey you, women across the country will not obey their husbands, and it will tear the fabric of society. So, Haman is saying one guy's refusal to bow to him means there's going to be a revolution against the king. Also, if the king allows him to exterminate the Jews, he will donate large sums of money to the king's treasury. So he's paying him off so he can get his way, much like companies and lobbyists and special interests do today. Nothing has changed. Xerxes, not being smart enough to investigate the truth of Haman's claims, is basically like, well, I do like money, and I don't like it when people don't like me. So here's my signet ring, do whatever you want. And then Haman writes up a royal decree and sends it out to everyone in the empire, stating that on the 13th day of the 12th month, people are to go out and murder any Jews they can find. No matter their age or gender, or it doesn't matter, anybody who is Jewish, just murder them and then take all their stuff. It's very likely Xerxes didn't even read the decree because he was too busy getting wasted. As we discussed last time, he had just recovered from a 6-month-long drinking party. So Haman's in charge of the whole thing. This new law is sent out to everyone, including the people in the city of Susa where they lived. And after the couriers take this law and post it everywhere, chapter 3, verse 15 says, the king and Haman sat down to a banquet, and the city of Susa was perplexed. And I find that very interesting. There's an outlandish, ridiculous, horrible law being proclaimed from on high, from the office of the king, but the people of Susa are confused. They have no way of knowing that this whole thing came about because one guy got butthurt about Mordecai refusing to bow to him. And there's a big difference between policies that like a government is prepared to adopt and the way ordinary humans live in ordinary life, right? So even the other members of the king's staff are not hostile to Mordecai. They're just like curious. They're like, is he going to get away with it? Let's see what happens. And I feel like this has a lot of parallels through the centuries, even now, right? The policies that come down from on high, the rhetoric that is ground through the media, the insane way that people behave online, rarely reflects how people actually act in ordinary, regular life. Often, not always, leave room for crazy. Often, when there is something bigger going on, people put aside their differences and they just help each other, right? So just this week, I have seen people from all walks of life being thrust into close proximity because of stupid Milton. Like some people a few streets over in my neighborhood were chainsawing up a tree that fell on their neighbor's house. And both of them have signs for opposing political parties in their yards. And yet they were helping each other. Why? Because a tree falling on someone's house is more important than who is right and who is wrong about an election. I have made a lot of trips to Home Depot this week with a pretty grouchy 3-year-old and a baby who I can only describe as like an octopus while you are trying to hold him. And every single time I have been there, people have helped me carry things, taken my cart back, told me to go ahead of them in line, and they didn't ask who I'm voting for. They didn't ask what religion I believe in. Why? Because on a human level, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all going through the same thing, and it doesn't matter whether we agree ideologically. It just matters that we're all in this together. And I think when something major happens, it like rips the top layer off of our ego and leaves us with what's underneath, the fact that we are all just humans holding an octopus. who need help. And the people of Susa are confused. Yes, their Jewish neighbors live differently. Yes, they ate differently. Maybe they even dressed a little bit differently. But kill them? Why? These are their actual neighbors. Meanwhile, the king and Haman have a banquet and get drunk, not having a care in the world that they just signed a death warrant for thousands of people. Back to Esther. So the decree goes out. Mordecai knows he has to get word to Esther, who is, by the way, still incognito. Nobody knows she's a Jew. She's in the palace, completely insulated from news of what has gone on outside. She has no idea that this whole thing has transpired. And Mordecai is like, how can I get to her? Because they know I'm a Jew, and so I can't just go talk to her. First of all, she's the queen. Second of all, if I go talk to her, they'll be like, what's your relationship? So he dresses himself in sackcloth and covers himself in ashes, and he gets as close to the palace as he can, right up to the gate, in plain view. He can't go inside because of the way he's dressed, but he knows that Esther will eventually see him. She does see him, and having no idea what is going on, she sends him out some clothing, and he sends it back. And then she summons a palace worker to find out what the heck he's doing. She's like, please go investigate this situation that's happening at the gate. And so the palace worker goes out. She can't go out there herself, mind you, she's the queen, but she sends a messenger. And Mordecai tells this palace worker everything. He's like, Haman is bent on killing me and all of the Jews. He will pay huge amounts of money for this to happen. And a law has been passed and a day has been selected for the murder to take place. And he sends her back a copy of the decree so she can read it. And then he tells her to go to the king and do something about it. Which, reasonable, right? You're the queen. You should be able to do something about it. Does anyone think this is a good plan? No, bad plan. Okay? Esther is terrified. This is, first of all, the first time she is hearing about the plot to kill everyone. She also cannot go into the king without being summoned. That's also a law. Persia was a little ridiculous. You cannot see or be seen by the king unless the king summons you specifically, and he had not summoned her in 30 days. And so the law says if you show up before the king and the king has not summoned you, unless he extends his golden scepter to you, you just get killed immediately. That's the law. And so she sends a message back to Mordecai and is like, are you crazy? He'll kill me. Poor Esther. Mordecai sends her back a message. I would like to be a bug, a fly on the wall. Is that the expression? Someone on the shoulder of the palace worker who's like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. He's like, he literally doesn't want the clothes. He says you're going to get murdered. He says he doesn't care. Mordecai sends her back a message saying, do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Essentially, Mordecai is saying, just because no one knows you're a Jew right now does not mean they won't find out. And when they do, you will be killed anyways. Your royal position will not protect you, just like it didn't protect the previous queen. Who knows? Perhaps the reason you're queen now is so you can make a difference in this situation. Now, remember what we talked about last time? Esther is a teenager, okay? She had lost both her parents. She was being raised by her cousin Mordecai. And then she was taken from her home and her friends and her life, sent to the palace where she was groomed for a whole year so that she could have one night of involuntary sex with the king, who happened to like her out of all the other women and made her the queen. But that did not relieve her from the burden of being trapped in this horrible system of abuse. She is right to be afraid. The system is not only set up to not help her, it is set up to abuse her, and if she puts even a toe out of line, kill her. But even still, Esther is courageous. Verse 15 says, Esther sent this reply, go, gather all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night and day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. And when this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. So she spends 3 days fasting, and we can assume praying, although the text does not say that. And then she sets off to see the king. That's such such a wild story. The book doesn't mention God at all. And yet it seems clear that God is involved somehow. Mordecai is convinced that if Esther does nothing, deliverance will come from another direction. One of the major lessons in the book of Esther is that it is completely unnecessary to wait for a sign or direction when action is urgently needed. And I can't even tell you how many people are like, oh, this thing is happening, I'm going to pray about it. What? Do something. The point is, if you can do something to help, no matter how much wrong has been done to you, no matter how much you have lost, we have a duty to help with the resources that we have. Esther is a teenager in a horrible situation, and yet she has the ability to make a difference because God works through humans. God's deliverance comes about because humans accept responsibility to use the position that they are in and act with faith and courage, just like Esther did. But acceptance of the responsibility does not guarantee that deliverance will come, right? Like, she had no way to know if she was going to be accepted by the king. He could have easily been in a bad mood and just sent her off to her execution. But she goes anyways. I haven't really seen or heard God being mentioned in the past couple of weeks. Like, I heard one person mention going to church. I saw one person praying. Overall, God has not been a subject of conversation in my neighborhood. I haven't been walking around, which we've been doing a lot, because while we didn't have power, the kids were up at 5 a.m. every morning. So we were taking night walks. That's what Nova called them. And every morning she'd be like, why are we taking a night walk? I'm like, because you're not sleeping in the night. If you were sleeping, we wouldn't be out here with a flashlight trying to avoid downed power lines. But I haven't heard God, right? I haven't heard anyone talking about God. And yet I have seen God more tangibly on my street than I have perhaps ever. There are neighbors looking past their giant political differences to help each other out. The guy on the end of our street somehow had power, was letting people come and charge things anytime, day or night. He put extension cords out and plugs. He had like a plug on the outside of his house. He was like going around to everyone being like, please come. Please use our power. There are people cleaning up each other's yards, sharing generators, sharing food, people talking to each other who never come outside. Like, the neighbors to our left literally never go outside. And they don't speak hardly any English. And we got to take them to check out their shop, which is okay, thankfully, even though their roof is leaking and both their cars got totaled. But like, we actually know who they are now. And we didn't before. There are so many relationships happening just on our street. And there's people like that I would say actively don't like each other who are communicating because there's more important things. Like the neighbors to our right, apparently last night the power line caught a palm tree on fire. I was like, oh, cool, right behind my house, cool. I just love that for us. We didn't hear it at all. But the neighbor across the street who, it's not their favorite people, I don't think, came and like called the power company out and like put it out. Why? Because it's more important. Like, we didn't have power for 8 days, which would have been manageable with Josiah, and like annoying, but manageable with Josiah and I. Not so manageable with 2 little children. And so many people have offered us like hot showers, hot coffee, AC, a place for Josiah to work. Because his job wasn't like, oh, you don't have power? Sorry, you just can have a free week of vacation. Friends brought us food and water. Noah was up all night on Tuesday, and one of my friends dropped me off a mega, like, mocha a mocha oat milk latte. It was like so much caffeine. It was a miracle. Okay? And I know that all of you have stories that are very similar to this. Some of us have more damage and some of us have less. But what we have in common is that we all went through this together and we are helping people and people are helping us. And sometimes, y'all can come back up here. Sometimes I think we get too caught up in waiting for giant miracles to happen. The miracle is this. The miracle is that humans can actually put aside our differences and just act like Jesus to each other. most of the time without ever mentioning Jesus. And after Helene came through, I was so emotional because we didn't even lose power. Like, we had so little damage compared to what some people have been through. And I just was like heartbroken about friends who lost their cars and their homes and everything. Like, why? Why did they lose everything? And we didn't. I don't know. But I do know that because we did not have much damage, we got to use our position to help other people. Don't die, please. I don't want to have to make a liability insurance claim, so. I do know that because we got power, we were able to offer hot showers and food to people and take supplies to people who needed it. And then Milton came through, and we had no power, and people were so nice to us. And we had a bunch of defrosting food, so we got the charcoal grill out, and we cooked it, and we shared it with our neighbors. And it is so easy to get trapped in thinking that this sucks, and it's not fair, and everything is bad. And honestly, it does suck, and it's not fair, and it is pretty bad. The landscape of our city and our community is like forever changed. But just like Esther, no matter how much wrong has been done, no matter how much we have lost, we have the opportunity to help each other with the resources we have. And this is what it means not just to be people of faith, but to be truly human. Humanity can be awful, but it can also be miraculous and beautiful. And in the middle of the ugliness in the world, the miracle of just regular humans caring about each other, I feel like has shone so brightly the last few weeks. As we are near to each other, God is near to us. Where God is present, love is present. Where love is present, God is present because God is love. And wherever God is present, healing is present. And it doesn't always look miraculous. Sometimes it looks like giving a burger to someone because it was defrosting in your fridge. Sometimes it's going over to someone's house and taking a shower. It's not miraculous, but it always makes a difference. We have 2 more songs. If you'd like to stand and sing with us, and then I will come back and give you a benediction.
First song is called, well, it's the 4th song, but it's the first song right now. It's called Miracle of the Mind. And you probably know it, but if you don't, get to know it. Something is different about the way you talk to me. I'm used to my anxiety, overriding everything. Something is happening. I've never known this kind of peace, 'cause I'd forgotten how to breathe. Suddenly, the mountains all seem too high. I see my future. really excited about it because it has 2 chords in it. Coming out from the darkness, turning back to you.
is right. Yes. Okay. You may be seated. If you want to go to brunch, it is 11:31. That means you have 29 minutes until right around the corner opens. It's 2 blocks that way. The reason we're going there today is they do have some food. They have beers and sodas and stuff. But they also have games, like all kinds of arcade games. And you should go and have some fun. Because you know why. Go blow off some steam and take out your aggression on Mrs. Pac-Man, okay? If anyone needs help with debris cleanup or taking out a wall or something in their house, let me know. Pastor Jordan has some availability coming up. He also knows a really good general contractor if you need one. So just let me know and I can put you in touch with him. And if you like Different Church and you want us to keep existing, you can donate online or in the box. And you had better wear a costume next week, or I will come and get you and give you the love of Jesus in a way that you shall never forget. No, I'm kidding. So let's pray. Loved ones, the nearness of God is an intimate encounter, like hope bubbling up from within, like comfort shared among the faithful. The nearness of God is a collective reality, material and spiritual, like community that holds each other, like resources shared, peace proclaimed. When God comes close, we are glad. Blessed are those who see and rejoice. Jesus makes known the power of God. It does not trickle down from on high, but it rises up among us from deep within, among every creature in the earth. Let us go declaring Hosanna. Salvation is here, inside of